Now we're turning to our final match of the day where we've got Tribe Gaming going against a behemoth so far in this tournament, KUN Gaming, a squad all centered around one man, Huiba.
Oh man, Huiba is such an exciting player on this team, Riku.
I know. I mean, we spoke about Huiba a little bit at the top of the show, and he's again not playing for the team. The team plays for him. He plays those scaling jungler carries like the Jax, like the Fiora, and the rest of the team are, will supply the necessary CC for him. And I'm looking forward to what Twisted Fates coming in with a gold card. Leona picks as well on their support, and again, an additional tank to supply that team fighting prowess.
Yeah, he's just such a unique player in the way the team is strategizing around him, because he's playing the champions that are typically split pushers, like the Jax and like the Fiora from the jungle position. And with that, he ends up getting a majority of the gold in the game, the majority of the experience in the game as well, and he ends up being a secondary carry in the split push, but then also when he gets to the team fights, he ends up having just way more gold than everybody else, and that just means he has like double the items. He's beat you down on this Jackson Fiora. This guy is just so exciting. You have to keep all eyes on him.
Yeah, the plan is pretty clear. Get him fed, and he'll get you multiple MVPs as he's done so far here in the Horizon Cup. So when we talk about this from a North American standpoint for Tribe, Smacks, are we just doomed?
We just might be, Degon. I'm excited for Tribe. They've only had the one series, and it was very close against TSM. They got reverse swept, but that first game was really, really clean for them. It's just that they're playing against KUN Gaming. And currently, KUN are my team to beat.
Riku?
Yeah, I mean, I think it still could be winnable, and I'm looking at ttigers Vi pick as an avenue. We've seen him pick this champion up in all 3 games against TSM during day number 1. He enables strong and aggressive early ganks to get the early lead. And I think Vi is a really good answer against single threat compositions, since you have a point and press CC. So if you can find an opportunity to remove Huiba right off the bat, with all the gold funneled onto him, dealing with the other 4 members from KUN Gaming should be more manageable.
Yeah, and I know as we looked at some of those stats, compared to the other jungler that is in this game, maybe not the most glamorous, but one thing that we're talking about, the beacon of hope here is that if they go with the Vi, which he seems pretty adamant to continue to do, that's really good at locking down one person. Guess how KUN likes to play? Through one person here, Smack.
They just funnel one guy. And not only that, the early game ended up being really good for Tribe in those games as well. They did play Vi all 3 of them, and I really appreciated the way that they came into each of them with dive strategies. At level 5 in game 1, at level 3 in game 2, and I think if they do want to go for the Vi once more, it can be just as effective. You just are on a timer, because your jungler is going to get outscaled every time.
All right, prediction time. How's this one going here for you, Smacks?
I gave him that strategy. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, though, and I do think that KUN Gaming are a just massive titan. I'm going to go with KUN 2-0.
Riku, save us here in North America. How's this going?
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go KUN Gaming 2-0 as well. They look pretty solid, and they are showing no signs of stopping.
What's going on here? Am I the only one with some hopium? I know a couple guys that got some hopium. Let's send it on over to the casters to see if the unstoppable KUN Gaming will be stopped by our boys from Tribe. Rafa, Alk Battery, take it away.
Degon, we got you. We got the faith. I don't know what's going on with Smacks. We just spent an entire split covering Tribe over on the North American Summoner Series, and you're telling me they can't even get one game off?
Yeah, look, honestly, a lot of the one region analysts have already started to swap ships. I mean, we've got Riku and TJ who are just literally found at a medical bed after SBTC are not having the best tournament so far. And for Smacks, I got to agree, Tribe's first start, it was basically a guaranteed, what I thought should have been a win for Tribe against TSM, and a really great performance from the Brazilian squad like we just saw in our last series. Tribe are not on the best start, and if Starting's Twitter and what I've, our private conversations with me and him have been, he thinks KUN Gaming is very, very scary. He said earlier today, he's like, oh, we're playing against KUN, like upside down smiley face. There's a lot of fear in his heart.
Yeah, it's the one emoji where it's just the.
Oh, nice.
Oh no.
Ah, cool.
Now, I want to put it into perspective. I know that we're giving Smacks a lot of flack for
As
saying
he should.
as saying that Dakun are gonna 2-0, and the odds are stacked against Tribe.
Very much.
We Dimitri and I are very well aware of that. This is a David versus Goliath matchup here, where Dakun are making themselves out to be potentially the best performing team in Horizon Cup so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally the #1 team in the group versus the team who was arguably the weakest in the group. Them and TSM coming into the Horizon Cup were thought to be some of the weaker teams, especially with the touted expectations for the SEA region and China as a whole being talked about as one of the best, right? We were coming in, I was talking with Starting, he was saying just from the games that they had played alone in practice, the Chinese teams were looking by and far away better than everybody else. And so now going against those tournament favorites, it is on Tribe to find another victory. It is them. If they take even one game, that's obviously a huge upset where Dakun have literally been back-to-back 2-0 splits, call it a night.
Against Dakun Gaming, Tribe, I mean, like, we already know that we're talking about Huiba being this just absolute behemoth, this monster that...
He's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think that's kind of underselling him a bit. He's more than pretty good. He's an absolute raid boss. He is the guy that when you go through all the dungeons, you're maxing out your levels as Tribe, and you're like, all right, we've defeated all of our opponents. We got through the Elite Four, but then the actual champion is still there, lying at the end of Victory Road. And Tribe, I mean, they couldn't take down their rival in TSM, who should have been, as you already said before, should have been a match that they should have won against Dakun. Odds are stacked against, but I'll be damned, Dog Battery. I'm still going to believe in these boys, man. I want to see something happen. I want to see Tribe go in with confidence, and I think that's something that a lot of teams have found surprising success. If we look at the Game 1 victories, not series victories, just Game 1 victories from Ebro and TSM. It's when they play their game and they are not unwavered in their confidence. It's all about emotional momentum. And if Tribe find their stride in this Game 1, maybe we can work from there.
It even happened in the Tribe series itself, right? They literally found a pretty convincing win coming in against TSM in the first day. And we were like, okay, if this is the style Tribe is going to go for, then we could start to see Tribe as a potential third place coming into this group. But it was eventually, the case where they were going for a little too much. I think there was a few too many mistakes coming out from the Baron lane. And I think now this is kind of the test for me. Yes, it is the best team in the group. Yes, it is one of the teams touted to make a deep run into the playoffs. Tribe, I want to see some life out of them. Yes, this loss will hurt a lot. But if we can see players like MaxGreen, who stood out so much, not only in the North American region itself, but also here in Horizon Cup, I think that there is, some hope. There is a little bit of hopium. I don't know how much is in that canister, and especially if Digon is huffing it, maybe there's not going to be enough for the rest of us. But something is there. Tribe, put up a win on the board. Find us something for Dakun, especially when we're talking about Huiba. Knock out his support structure. Make sure they're getting rid of the people who are helping him get to that godlike status. And maybe we can see that strategy. And already we're seeing it. Fiora, Jax off the table. This is a very interpersonal draft already.
Yeah, Tribe are already saying, listen, we don't want to even try and test you on those picks at all. We're just going to make sure you don't get a chance to grab them. Now, Graves would be the other potential scaling pick for Huiba, but a Camille ban, and if Dakun do not ban the Graves out, this could be just a Graves takeaway from Tribe.
This also means Riven is on the table, and ttigers has played Riven in North America. He looked pretty good, but like we've been seeing throughout the Horizon Cup, and like Smacks had referenced, they have been sticking with Vi. It does, it's awesome that they're sticking with it and they're finding some good engages, but for me, it makes Tribe very predictable. And this is kind of a mini gauntlet being thrown. Are you going to take the Riven, or are we going to be able to grab that? And it looks like they're going to favor the Grave side of that matchup.
But this does mean that KUN will have grabs at the Riven. And YK played it to great success in their series yesterday. Huiba also more than capable of piloting the Riven as well, and she's someone that you can funnel a lot of gold into as well. However, KUN not grabbing the Riven quite yet. They're making sure that they have a priority on the Varus, which hasn't really been picked up in other series today, but knowing that KUN, when you go back to talking about Huiba, can only succeed if the rest of the foundation and supporting cast around him is doing well in those lanes, because if they're doing well in their lanes, then Huiba doesn't have to worry about trying to facilitate and protect them. He can just farm to his own content.
Yeah, he gets access to all of the jungle camps, he gets access to all of the lane farm as well, and we're talking about priority for these other lanes. I like this start from Tribe. It kind of cuts off the ability to go for some other engaged supports. However, for KUN Gaming, I think that this also kind of opens up some enchanter play that we've been seeing. Nami, the Lulu here for Emo. And with this Varus, it should be very easy for them. If you miss those arrows, that is a window for Tribe to try to attack this bot lane. And with Twisted Fate now, I just wonder, what is Tribe's response? You have a pretty strong movable mid lane that can kind of cheat and help Huiba if they go for an invade or if they go for a side lane gank.
Nami called down once. You're getting pretty good.
It's a strong pairing.
Have you considered being an analyst?
No. I'll leave that for all the boys that are much smarter than me and not hard stuck emerald with like 65%.
Hey man,
Flex a little bit.
if Smacks didn't leave you when he was climbing to Diamond, I think we could have all
Look,
been there.
regardless of my own struggles, we got to worry about what Tribe could do here. I mean, we've seen some marksmen. Now, yes, Akshan is banned, but starting as a mid lane assassin is kind of going to look to pop off. And for everybody at home, you're seeing Garen. We've seen Garen a little bit in the Horizon Cup, but Chuck, in his humble beginnings in Wild Rift, he is a Garen and Darius 2-trick. So we'll have to see if he can pull out the hand of Demacia, dish out some justice.
The solid frontliner that just kind of runs in.
Oh
dishes
my
out
god,
damage.
starting!
But starting, if you've been paying attention to starting Twitter before the boys set sail for Singapore and did their quarantine process, starting had a bunch of clips popping off on Lucian solo queue.
Lucian was a pretty sick mid laner for the time being, and we're going to get to see it again. This is something that, he's already shown a little bit of proficiency in with the marksman. It's not quite an Akshan with the amount of a... oh my god! Huiba on the Rengar. We've been talking about him having 70% of his damage of the gold share, or whatever the stat is. At this point, it's KP, that's what it is. 70% would be illegal in damage. But this champion, you want to talk about hard carries? We were saying, okay, the Jax is gone, the Fiora is gone, the Graves was taken away. I was thinking we were going to kind of sink into some of those B-tier junglers, talking about the Xin Zhao and the sort, but he just reaches immediately for this champ.
Rengar was a dominant champion a couple patches ago. And then
It is disgusting.
the balance team was like, yeah, you know what? Rengar is like just annihilating people
I'm
with
okay with
Trinity
that.
Force and just a bruiser build. And that's not really fair to marksman players,
It's never fair to the marksman players. It's fine. We may have a fourth of the roster in Wild Rift in marksman champions, but just this role, I'm not going to get too much into it. I'm not going to get into my personal struggles. We already talked about my win rate. I do want to just take a look. Mark, you're a better jungler than I. What do you think about this Rengar here?
Oh, dude. So, the thing about Rengar is because you can get access to level 5 pretty fast, your skirmishing early on is pretty reliant on bushes and just waiting for enemies to walk into your jungle so that you can jump on them. Because Rengar base damage early on is decent. It's nothing to, be super happy about when you're going up against something like a Xin Zhao or Lee Sin, who will stat check you. But against the Graves doesn't want to take those fights early on, and so both are looking to scale in their own outright. And with every single item power spike that Rengar gets, he just gets stronger and stronger and gets closer to the threshold where the bar for how easy it is for him to assassinate a squishy like starting Solution or Oldskool Messiah just gets so easy.
Yeah, that time to kill becomes very, very short for this Rengar. So we'll have to see what KUN Gaming can get out as we are going into game 1 here of Tribe versus KUN Gaming. Tribe trying to look for an upset victory here, and KUN trying to continue their supremacy here in Group A.
The dominance that KUN Gaming have demonstrated these past couple of days in Horizon Cup are nothing to scoff at. Only praises for this roster from China. They have absolutely surprised us all, and how incredible they've been. Huiba getting chased out of his own jungle, though, in the early game. Tribe with the early game plan, saying taking the fight to you, but this invade is getting a little short-sighted here. The red buff has reset 2-3 times already.
Very sloppy coming out from Tribe. We saw this in their game 3 against TSM, where they went for an early invade, straight into a dive. They sent their bot lane over. They just weren't able to find it. That's really painful for Tribe.
Yeah, well, before the action continues breaking out, make sure you don't miss out on content you're already paying for by linking your Prime account with your WRE account, where you can receive a random skin chest thanks to our friends at Prime Game. Any primers? Any primers
In chat. Go ahead and pick that up. I like the skins in Wild Rift. Not only do you see them in game, the character models are so good. I see a bunch of other stuff, especially in the loading screen.
And now Tribe are actually kind of bringing a little bit of a North American Cloud9 flavor with the dual mid from Oldskool and MaxGreen. Now, before we kind of saw this as a way to help maintain mid control and gain easy access to Scuttle Crab priority for the jungler, however, Huiba's unfaltered by that, because KUN already rotated Emo into the mid lane as well, and now they're going to dive on to Chuck. Oh no, starting I should say, because they put Chuck over to the dragon side of the map, and starting is a very squishy marksman. That's just first blood for Doc.
This is incredibly favorable for KUN Gaming. You see their team, it's a huge pick composition, and with how squishy Tribe are, the lane allocations have to be incredibly careful. And if MaxGreen and Oldskool can't find an advantage in the mid lane versus this TF, then starting over to the top side, getting that Ignite out from him, does no favors for them. So KUN saying thank you, take the handshake, and punish the upstart mid laner here for Tribe.
And just the coordination between IK and Huiba, they had the barrier to take one more turret shot. KUN Gaming, they're just too damn clean with it, Dimitri.
They're pretty good. I'm glad that they're able to punish. You know, when someone throws the ball, someone has to catch it, right? And KUN doing a fantastic job recognizing there's a Lucian in the top lane, and we're crashing a pretty nice wave as Renekton. Let's just kill him. Why do we have to respect that he's a ranged champion? Just kill him.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
KUN, within 3 minutes into the game, already pushing themselves to about a 2,000 gold lead, where it's just kind of bleeding all over the map. A few hundred over to Yo, a few hundred over to Huiba in terms of their opposition in comparison. Now Chuck has resumed a lot of the normal starting lanes. Huiba is level 6, has access to throw the hunt. Now ttigers is going to jump right on.
He's just dead.
Yeah, they have the Goon Squad as well, with Yo porting in on the Destiny Gate. KUN just propelling themselves.
The early game dominance coming out from KUN and some of the missteps that we saw from Tribe mean that KUN, they have priority in the mid lane. They can move on over. They know that this top lane is not going to be a threat, especially if YK can kind of move on over. And we saw that they were kind of playing in fog. KUN, they had moved their their mid laner and a bot lane duo throughout the river and bot side. They were trying to take control of vision as well as just playing in the fog of war. You don't know where they are. Gets level 5 for Yo, moves on over, gets a kill onto ttigers. This is a really, really tough position if you're a Tribe right now.
He already has a Trinity Force. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Now,
he has so much gold!
Yeah,
man.
he's almost 4K at the bank at almost 4 minutes into the game. KUN already rotating on over to the Rift Herald. ttigers is here to support Chuck, but Huiba is waiting in the wings, waiting in this tri-bush as he walks down these front camps. Tribe, Rift Herald as well. Huiba circling around with YK. He pops the Dominus. I guess he was waiting for Chuck to face check here. Huiba is not going to pop the hunt. Oh.
You almost went for it. Look, I respect it, but look, like, there's so many blinking health bars here. MaxGreen is gonna have to go down.
Glacial Fissure onto the back line, trying to pop damage onto Emo. Wind is rotating on over.
Oh.
Mechanical Corruption, the CC
Just
onto
again.
Oldskool is going to mark him for death. And KUN Gaming just tearing through Tribe. They find one onto YK, but it's a triple for Wind as he finds another one onto Chuck.
There's no Zinzao, but it is just a lightning strike after continuous ones. Wind just finding piercing arrows into the hearts of Tribe. This is such a dominant start here for KUN. They don't get the Rift Herald, yes, but they get to get a ton of kills. And it's just how much they're kind of just whittling away at the HP bars of Tribe. The pick compositions we had talked about earlier, the damage is unmitigated against Tribe. And it's just, I mean, they find the kill. Looks like we have a little bit of a technical issue. Chuck does go down. I mean, MaxGreen, I was really worried as to his positioning because, again, he is Braum. He's not playing with a flash. This is something that he's been innovating throughout the tournament. But, man, that is a really rough start coming out from Tribe.
Almost down 6 kills to 1.
Yep.
Within the first 5 minutes of the game. I mean, we did say that this was going to be Tribe's potentially hardest battle to overcome, a David versus Goliath story. And, you know, but this time around, it doesn't seem like the happy ending where Tribe is the one that just comes out on top. I mean, this is going to be just a showing of KUN demonstrating why they are the best team in the tournament so far.
Yeah. It's a lot of doom and gloom because we were the ones to do the Summoner series alongside a couple of our other broadcaster friends here at Horizon Cup, but that's exactly why they're the #1 seed right now in the Group A. They're so dominant. Huiba extending his gold lead and making sure that every member, doesn't matter what team you're on, you're going to feel his presence in the game. Make sure that you know the name Huiba by the end of the game, end of the series. Man, this jungler just gapped me incredibly hard. His team is playing for him. I'm sure some of the other junglers, maybe yourself, wants to see that, but yeah, this is just a fantastic start to a team fight. Again, look at how this starts. MaxGreen already low HP, so the Braum not able to do anything. Because the trade that we saw from YK with the Garen lane earlier on, Chuck on this Garen, he's not able to provide as much agility as someone that we expect from a Garen, right? This champion is a stat stick. You must be this tall to ride to be able to beat a Garen, and KUN are well and above the height requirement for that one.
Yeah, they are past that point, and Tribe are starting to scramble in the early game, and we will look at what this composition is supposed to do. Essentially a triple marksman roster with 2 frontliners who are supposed to absorb all this damage. But KUN Gaming, they have just held themselves 5,000 gold ahead for 6 minutes into the game. Every single game that we've been looking at on the series on the top of the day, I don't think no one has achieved this much of an advantage this fast.
They have not gotten this explosive, right? We've had back and forth fights. TSM, obviously, not able to find the win against Rolster, but I mean, still putting up a pretty decent fight. Even the Team Queso game we got to see earlier on was a pretty close one with Sengoku and Zero. KUN are just showing why they're favorites to make it out in that first seed. And now I want to take a look, Rafa, to what KUN do now from this position, right? It is continue to get Huiba some resources and then move that and continue to blow up a lot of the squishy members. Even ttigers. You would think Graves has the Bloodthirster, has a lot of built-in armor already thanks to the kit, but against someone like Huiba, the challenges might be level lead. It's going to be too much to hold.
Huiba is also working towards some durability items.
Spirits or Black Cleaver? That's the real question.
In the past, it's been Sterix. You know, we'll get there. You know, either or. I wouldn't question Huiba's build, like, because Huiba is just looking like the best player in the tournament so far. So whatever he says is just it's law.
So if he built a DeAndre's Anguish or Torment,
I wouldn't question it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Huiba can do whatever he wants. I mean, look at this. Just easy
Literally,
pick.
yeah. Okay, well, silver lining here for Tribe. They got 2 plates from the mid lane, but in trade, their jungler goes down. ttigers, a pretty big voice for this team when talking to the players. He's obviously a world champion in himself alongside most of his other roster, but this is a guy who has a ton of experience in other mobile esports and needs to kind of stay stalwart in this game, right? Yes, it is very much in favor of DKG. But if there's ever an avenue, if there's ever someone that I expect for them to kind of be the go button and the trigger for Tribe to do something, it is this jungler.
ttigers gonna have to see if he can farm his way back into this game. He's working on less resources to really farm himself up with. They spot out Huiba in this top side of the map. There's a few members being dedicated to this turret push on the dragon side of the map. DKG will take out the first turret, going for first break of gold. Huiba using the thrill of the hunt, getting vision onto the members of Tribe in this river. Doesn't necessarily want to go in on them because Yo is already on the top side of the map and won't get an effective use out of Destiny without the rest of DKG backing him up. But Huiba, they're now enacting farm side lane as
Yes, I actually think this might be a sin as we're talking about the Church of Huiba here for DKG Gaming. See that the TF is doing the Raptor Camp. Buddy, that's valuable golden experience that Huiba could be getting at this time. If you look at Yo, he's finished the 2 items he needs. He's got Roa, he's got RFC. If you ever get into any kind of extended range of Twisted Fate, that's a gold card straight to the face. And you have to expect a solo laner or a jungler is going to just pop out of Fog of War and take you down. Probably also Huiba.
Yo, basically what All Battery is saying, you're done. You don't need to farm anymore. All of your farm
Belongs to Huiba.
Yep. All of your gold, it's now property of Huiba because he's the carry. He's going to be the one that is popping off of these team fights and annihilating the hopes and dreams of the Tribe game.
Speaking well, there you go. There's the collateral damage. Huiba is going to stop Tigers from picking up his Krugs. There's a dragon that's spawning. Unless Tribe are feeling expertly bold, I think this is also going to be their Rift Herald. Look at this positioning from Yo. That might just be starting going down.
MaxGreen gets annihilated. And the rest of Tribe are trying to come in as reinforcements, but the fight is already over. DKG got all that they wanted. 8,000 gold up 10 minutes into the game. Just slowly strangling the life out of Tribe in this first game of the series.
Yes, DKG just moving across the map swiftly and wanting to make sure that their opponents are unable to act. Some pretty massive paralysis is starting.
Yikes!
Rooted. There's no use for the QSS. It's not enough. The Rift Herald gets summoned. The ultimate is blown by Oldskool. And that might just be Chuck being found as well.
Dimitri, I know we were past the Halloween season, but Stam Huiba is spooky as he's just popping out of bushes and he's just destroying members of Tribe one by one. DKG Gaming and the rest of this squad are on a rampage. They have this Rift Herald crashing, taking out 2 turrets in the blink of an eye. A dragon is up for the taking.
There's just nothing that Tribe can do as DKG are exerting their pressure and supremacy across the map. We can see a 12-minute inhibitor here as the next wave is going to roll on through, and it has only been mid lane. There's 3 turrets for DKG, 2 of which are there. It's a single Rift Herald push that knocks down a lot of the standing gold here for Tribe. It is a dragon in their back pocket as well. And DKG, they're pushing to be undefeated in this group as we get to the axe at 1.1%.
I mean, Huiba gave starting no chance. He was just starting to recall and then did death.
Might be a little bit mean, but the 0.1% I think is also the chance that Tribe get back in this game. It's a pretty damning goal lead.
Now, this is just an example of the awesome power of DKG Gaming.
Yes.
And when they get going, for anyone that is tuning into Wild Rift Esports and they're just getting a taste of this powerhouse lineup, I mean, now Tribe, they're trying to answer back. Glacial Fisher goes wide. The rest of Tribe not really landing their abilities on the DKG and just go! Turn off the camera! This isn't safe for work anymore.
Keep it going! I want to see DKG just slaughter this team right now. Look at how good they're doing.
You want to see them slaughter your own home,
Chuck,
boys?
Yes, I am here to see good Wild Rift, and it just happens to so come from the Chinese region right now. DKG are putting their foot down. They want no more of this game. They don't want to have any kind of doubts that they're the best teams in this group, and possibly in Horizon Cup right now. They're going to continue to just I mean, put Tribe into the dirt right now. And for Dakun, it is how clean they can close this out for them.
We can't show it to you, but Smax is just curled
In
up
pain.
on the analyst death
He's gonna be
stage.
the Darius
He
next.
knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. I was, you know, hopeful that maybe we could, you know, game one get a little bit of a fighting chance to try, but man, this is just the awesome power of Dakun Gaming. This is how lethal of a force that they are being in this tournament at Horizon Cup. They're taking the Baron, no contest whatsoever from Tribe, because they can't even get in. Any member that walks up within the jungle quadrant entrances themselves from the base, Yo can TP in with Destiny Gate. Wable will run at you 1,000 miles an hour and just eliminate you from the game.
Yeah, take a look at this, just how much range they're able to utilize. YK goes in, that's the inhibitor down, the ultimate as well. I think Chuck is going to have to pay for the sins of his team, as this might just be it, Rafa. They're going to go for the end.
ttigers had the recall, but he doesn't even get a chance to come back in time.
That's it.
Yeah, just Dakun Gaming saying, all right, chalk it up. Game one in the books. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the power of Dakun Gaming. The series is not even over yet, but with a dominant showing like that, you have to imagine that the score is already set in the books.
Yeah, and coming in, again, a lot of people may have thought China, there were some nebulous reads as to where they were going. Rocky Zoro had said that this team in this region was really, really good, and some of us thought China was going to be, yes, maybe a second contender, maybe a third place contender, because we didn't know exactly what Korea was looking like. But both of their teams, you have Thunder Talk who are sitting in Group B, and now Dakun Gaming here, they're looking pretty good. Yes, this is supposed to be a slated win, as the analyst showed, and as a lot of people at home are thinking Dakun should be the favorites to win this. But it's just, sometimes you need a reminder. It's day after day that we're seeing this. They are really, really good.
Yeah, and I think it's a way to cleanse the palate after getting such exciting back and forth games. You get to see the powerhouse of a region where they're just so beyond dominant. Like, it's not even enough of a word to describe just how powerful, how much potential they have in their ceiling. And we've haven't even scratched the surface yet, because I don't think Dakun have really met a team that have risen up to the match, maybe towards the later end of the group stage. But there's still one more game to win from the side of Dakun Gaming. When we come back, we're going to go to D-Gon, Smax, and Riku on the analyst desk.
Get in there, boys.
We're already here. What do you mean? We're here. We're good to go. Because it feels like one thing that didn't quite go was Tribe. Tribe didn't really go anywhere in that last one here, Smax.
They went to game two as fast as possible. And yeah, Dakun Gaming, they came out swinging with that one. I really love that they showed us that they had more carry champions available for Huiba. It's not just Jax, not just Fiora. He's pulling out the assassins like Rengar.
And speaking of Rengar, I really love the Rengar plus TF combo. It's such a killer combo. We've seen this many times during SEA as well. And you can also do this with Galio instead of TF, but the idea is you constantly hunt the enemy jungle like Shadow and Chance. Huiba and Yo are gonna be the two spooky ghosts. And when they reach level 5, they just basically activate Thrill of the Hunt and Destiny, and boom, they pick an isolated target in the enemy jungle and kill.
Build your own boot enchant with
That's
this
the play.
composition for the Rengar.
Basically, right? And we got to see what that was like with the, I think, hunting down ttigers, who was just farming his jungle. He's like, yeah, Graves, this is what I want to do. And then, surprise, Rengar, surprise, Destiny. And next thing you know, gone. And it was like, uh-oh, this is not going to be good if this is how this comp was going to play out here. So, again, what are some of the changes that they need to make here, Tribe Gaming?
Well, Riku suggested something that I really appreciate, and I think Tribe should also really appreciate as well, Riku's analysis, big brain. The Vi worked out really well in the first day that they played, and I feel like it could be the answer here too. With the early game pressure that you have and the single target assassination as well, gives you a lot of crowd control. That could be the angle. It just doesn't need to be that ttigers is scaling alongside Huiba. Because as I said before the series even began, That's just not going to work. Huiba's entire team is built around having him scale, having him funnel all this golden experience. He's going to outscale you regardless.
Yeah, I feel like also the Vi approach can be viable in the second game, and Vi can be paired in with so many comps, right? Like you can have the Yasuo for the single knockup, you can have the Ahri for the level 3s, and you can basically try to match the level 3 skirmishes. So perhaps that would be the play.
I mean, we saw earlier also in this draft, because we got to talk about the DKG side. Here on the Tribe side, you know, they tried to do a multiple marksman here, right? The Lucian coming on in, the Graves coming on in, and so it just didn't work. It just really didn't work, and I feel like it feels bad when you're a team that has to adapt to the top team, right? Mm-hmm. So the fact that Tribe were like, hey, we'll try this as our draft, and you didn't get not only any information, you got negative information. It was like, nope, that's not good. All right, what did we learn? I don't know. And now Tribe have to try and piece things together here. It's going to be pretty difficult. And I really want to go back to the fact that KUN Gaming built around Huiba. The fact that every single person was on point, ready to go. Every fight. Rafa, biggest NA fan. You could hear the life being sucked out of his voice while it was happening. And I can only imagine what it was like being a Tribe player during the game there, Smax.
Yeah, especially when they came into the draft with the strategy to ban away the champions that Huiba had already played. They took away Fiora, they took away Jax, and they took away Graves as well, the other scaling jungler that could possibly be there for Huiba. All of those removed, and then he pulls out this Rengar as well. To me, it just feels like you have to start banning away the champions that are built around Huiba to make him succeed so well. The Twisted Fate and the Varus together make for such a potent pick composition around this Rengar that, yeah, Huiba's going to be amazing. His mechanics are amazing. He is the carry on this team for that reason. But when you have all these pieces around him, it just looks all the more impressive. So I think they can maybe start banning away that.
Riku?
Yeah, I really like that approach as well. I mean, look at that comp, just fully focused on assisting with the CCs necessary, good Chain of Corruptions from the Varus, Gold Guard from the Twisted Fate, Bubble from the Nami and the heals, and a point-and-click stun coming from the Renekton. So everything basically just falls into place for the setups for Huiba. But there's also another approach where, you know, Tribe had an idea, level 1 invades, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Maybe if they draft something that can be equipped for those level 1 invades, I'm thinking, Lee Sin perhaps. Braum is already on the right track because you do have a lot of those stuns. And that is exactly why we saw the bottom lane being rotated early towards the mid lane, is that so that they can see if they can take advantage of the early game and get that jungle invade down against Huiba.
Riku, I love all those points that you made there about KUN Gaming, because it's time for our State Farm assist of the game. It was too hard to highlight just one player, so here's teamwork personified by DKG.
I mean, the assist of the game is really just everybody piling in and assisting Huiba. It's the entire support structure ready and willing to assist this one player. And honestly, assist of the game, it might just be the assist of the tournament if nobody can stop this guy.
Yeah, well, hey, look, one game down, maybe one to go. At least we know it's a best of 3, so Tribe trying to make it at least 2 more to go. And I know a couple guys that want it to go at least 2 more games. Time to send it on over to the casters. Get into game number 2, Rafa and Alec Battery.
I mean, Digon, I'd be down if we got another game 3 of today. The 3-game series that we've had this day 3 of groups has been absolutely phenomenal, but
we gotta be realistic, man.
yeah.
KUN are pretty good. Like,
they're damn good, man.
Yeah.
And they're so damn good that I can't help but just be like, that's so cool, man. Like,
yeah.
KUN are just like this absolute powerhouse of a roster, and they came into this tournament absolutely prepared. They had the correct read, or so far, the best read on the meta so far.
I think that their strategy has really started to work for them, right? We're talking about a lot of other teams not necessarily playing for their jungler. We even have the other Chinese representative, ThunderTalk, playing for their top/mid lane player in Z, and DKG doing a very similar strategy, playing around their jungler, playing out one specific member, and making sure that they are the carry for them, like we've been mentioning throughout the broadcast. And it so far has worked the best. It has looked the most dominant. And so now they kind of alluded to at the desk, the answer may lie in attacking the support structure, attacking Yo and YK, and potentially even this Dragon Lane duo in Win and Emo.
Tribe so far not going to stray away from the bans that they ran with in game 1, but they are going to take a page out of the notebook for the rest of Daku Gaming. And attacking that support structure, Yo will not have access to the Twisted Fate.
No more Twisted Fate. We take those. I think it's also kind of interesting. I assume Tribe are either going to go for that Graves or for the Vi yet again. What happened to Riven? Because Riven was a really sick champion. We haven't seen much of her in this series. She was left up and available, and DKG just decided, hey, our Renekton is much better. We would much rather have Renekton for ourselves. Allows for YK to have that kill priority, and we get right on through. Tribe, they say, we banned the Camille last time. We're going to first pick it, while DKG get to have what I think is one of the best flex champions in the game right now, Galio.
Now, ttigers has played many Camille games throughout the Summoner series, but as we alluded to before during TSM series against Roster Y, Camille's not necessarily the best jungler anymore. In fact, I don't even know how viable
She's not even a jungler. I've scrubbed my mind of those few patches where that champion was the most ridiculous for me. That champion just doesn't exist. And
At least
speaking in the jungle. Speaking of which, however, they have locked in Renekton, which means
What?
this is either Renekton mid or they're sending Camille into mid lane. Both of which I cannot speak confidently enough about.
It could be ttigers taking a page out of Tybe's book over the jungler over enemy for the NA boys, saying, hey, you know what? Even if they nerfed Camille's jungle prowess, they're still going to play her. They still made her work in the past. And they might just brute force their way into it. You know, we'll find out once the other two champions get locked in. But Nami has been acquired.
Yeah, Nami really dissuades DKG from going for something like a Braum here. Now, I know what you're saying. We have a Galio who can still be flex pick, so you know there's still some options here for Daku Gaming. Lucian is primarily a bot laner here, so Tribe are probably going to pick up a Varus and Nami. China have also played some Garen support, so I'm not as, tuned in with that being the case, but it is a possibility as we get further into the draft now with Graves picked up for Huiba.
I'm pretty sure we saw it during the Spark Invitational where, I don't remember who they were playing against. Maybe it was OMG if memory serves correctly, but DKG, they had multiple supports banned away from Emo, and so he was just like, all right, well, I'm just playing Garen at this point. We need a frontliner, we need just the meat shield at this point, and yeah, Garen doesn't really offer any crowd control other than some soft one in terms of silence, but I mean, he is kind of a stat stick if you give him some gold.
Death is the best CC. You can't cast abilities, you can't input any movement commands, you can only stand and watch as the rest of your team in grayscale makes any kind of actions or reactions. So here for them, Tribe, we get a good look at what a lot of us thought was going to be starting's champion pool, and a lot of these melee assassins picking up the Diana still has a little bit of that team fight potential inside of her. So Chuck, for the rest of Tribe, this looks like what we would have expected coming into this tournament, or sans the Camille that is available for them.
So we can play a little bit of Mad Science Lab right now.
Yes,
before
okay.
the pigs actually get swapped around. Now, Diana did get buffed to work in the jungle.
Yes.
The jungle clear speed isn't as great, but you can get through it, and you can have some pretty disgusting moments on it. Thundertalk showed us a great example of Diana jungle in their series yesterday, and that way you could still put Camille in the Baron lane. Renekton into the mid lane could work against Galio because we just had Rakan locked in for the support, because Renekton can chew through the shield that it basically doesn't exist because it's a magic damage shield. I know I'm getting really crazy, and you guys can't see it. Off Battery is giving me this just really strange look that doesn't really approve what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to make sense of this.
Yeah.
We're actually playing Camille.
We're actually
Okay.
playing Camille Jungle.
Okay.
I just want to talk about Dakun now. Dakun, we've talked about Tribe. Dakun, they still have similar things that we've been talking about in terms of cheating out of the mid lane. Twisted Fate was their pick before for Yo, and now with the Galio, will offer that same potential and still has an okay, if not winning matchup against Diana in the early game. And you will also have a late game potential in him just because of his AP build that he has. That's really awesome. And Garen, I mean, we saw YK play this Garen before. This is such a hard champion for someone like Varus to deal with. The Nami can only help just a little bit. Looking at the rest of this, I think Dakun still have a really powerful draft and still plays that playstyle that we've been talking about, that we've been seeing throughout the Horizon Cup, where Huiba is the star, is the main focus. It is up to Tribe to attack all of the foundational structures around him. If not, they're going to go 0-2. They're going to look at themselves in the group and really have to dig deep. Really have to try to find something to bring them back here in this international event.
Dakun have been on an absolute reign of domination throughout every single day of Horizon Cup. Let's see how Dakun continue to demonstrate their absolute power. Whereas Tribe, at this point, if ttigers is going back to an old favorite in the Camille, despite the nerfs of pushing her out of the jungle, I won't doubt it, I won't question it. Let Tribe go back to comfort picks. Maybe if...
Yeah, comfort is what you want to see. I just don't know if this is the right meta read. And we'll see what happens. We'll kind of key back into this Camille pick. I think for right now, what we need to watch is how does Dakun Gaming operate in the laning phase? Because right now, they do have a pretty competitive bot lane. The Rakan against this Nami, if they can try to find access onto her, is really immobile. And it is on who lands that first crowd control ability from the supports in this lane, right? It is landing the bubble first on the Rakan. Well, cool, you can burst him out, especially now with Airy available. And I mean, YK blew the Ignite a little bit earlier on. This top lane matchup is not going well for them.
Chuck still had Barrier and Flash available, but he's going to take an early recall. Doesn't want to take it to chances. YK is being very aggressive. Oldskool getting jumped on by Emo.
That's electrocute Rakan. That's straight up for the laning phase. I love this. This is definitely a different take. We'll have to see what else we get from Emo. We've seen all kinds of Rakan builds so far throughout the tournament, and electrocute is strictly for that laning phase. You are trying to blow up the enemy bot lane. You're trying to blow up maybe a singular member. We've seen that they already are moving into the opposite side of the jungle or trying to look for something in mid lane. Speaking of which, ttigers is going to be very sad as he hook shots over the wall and gets his blue buff taken away.
Yeah, Huiba just getting good old counter jump. We've seen it before, nothing new here. ttigers trying to flash on top, and here comes Yo. Here comes the supporting cast of Dakun Gaming, making sure that their king in Huiba is not touched, and they swipe away the peasants.
The blue buff has been taken away. They're even exerting pressure because they know that MaxGreen is up here. Huiba with no flash is playing with absolutely no fear. And Yo, not even level 5 on the Galio, comes right on through the river, and they are just slamming both side lanes now. Dakun Gaming with a massive lead already. It's 2.5 minutes in. The objectives haven't even gone.
YK just walks up and dunks Chuck. Now, we have Hero's Entrance coming in from Yo. ttigers is trying to lift the killing blow onto YK. Forcing the flash out of Yo, starting is also here for the collapse. Meanwhile,
Oldskool's is dead.
He doesn't have any friends. He was left alone to fend for himself in the 1v2, but Wind and Emo say, okay, well, this is super easy then.
Yeah, we take those. Dakun with an incredibly dominant start. They're taking away minion waves from Tribe. They're getting kills. They're taking experience and growing their own lead while doing so. Dakun, their early game strategies are awesome to see, where Tribe, it seems like that playbook is a little bit empty so far throughout the tournament. They have not shown a lot of early plays aside from their other game where we saw against TSM, they were making some attempts at dives in the early game.
Dakun Gaming. By the way, we got a fun fact here.
Okay.
They win, they will become the first team,
Gotta be Dakun.
Dakun Gaming.
There we go.
If they win this series, they will be the first team in Horizon Cup to to secure a spot in the knockout stage. As of this moment, even with the 2-0s from Roaster Y, only Dr. Gaming would be the one to automatically be advancing to.
Yes, and that would make their last game, I mean, obviously a little bit trivial since they will already have done it. It will just simply be for placement. Either lock in that first place or see if they go into second or third. But that's a little bit of the future. We still have to cast our eyes right now as to the game that is in front of us. Chuck may be in a little bit of a dangerous position. Slice and Dice does get him out.
Yeah, slicing forward gives him a little bit of mobility, and it forces Dr. Gaming's hand to use their mobility spells right on top, and then he slices, then dices right back on down. Tribe are trying to start up this Rift Herald, but YK, Scary Garen in the wings, ready to collapse. Yo is also here to make sure he can make the move on it. And look at this. Kun, instead of taking the dragon, they're just moving on over, rotating, making sure that Tribe don't get any advantages. Rather than playing to trade, they're playing to contest.
Exactly. And now Yo has reset. He does have City Boots, has picked up the Rod of Ages. And while ttigers, Diggs, he's just sitting there trying to start at the Rift Herald, really can't do so. They have no priority in mid lane. Oldskool is sitting afar with this bow, trying to just get whatever minions he can. Wind is 1v1ing a Renekton, and if you've played Marksman, or if you've played against Renekton, you know if this is happening, you are very happy if you're a Doctor Gaming. You're just pulling him away. He can't ever kill you. It's very scary for them. They're going to start the Rift Herald on the opposite side. Tribe are going to try to look for this, but I wonder, do Daku just go for this? Galio's here.
Emo getting stopped in his tracks. Bubble and Tidal Wave is
That's huge.
MaxGreen, but he still lands the grand end that's on the 3. Now Wind has to put in damage, but he has to immediately get out thanks to Chuck zoning him off. The screening is great from Tribe.
Oh, Yo!
What a beautiful engage from Yo! Finds the knock-up, but starting with the Moonfall's response, tries to find one onto Yo and another one onto Emo, but the rest of Tribe are running at the hands of Huiba, who runs down Oldskool.
They get all of those kills, and it started obviously there with Huiba dropping the Rift Herald in mid. It goes down on that turret. MaxGreen needs to hold this wave to try and do something for Tribe. But that was a good look there from the mid laner of DKG. Sees that they're all in that funnel. Look at the Axe 0.1% replay. As this is just trying to find something. It's a good start for them, Rafa. They stopped Emo from going to this grand entrance. Or sorry, the quickness from him. Not able to find too many members. That grand entrance, the swiftness you're able to use, it's not enough. And here's that miracle engage. Man, that's awesome.
3-man taunt from Yo, right? And despite the re-engage from starting, the rest of Tribe can't follow up on the re-engage because they're chunked down so low. And Huiba, as soon as he sees Oldskool step up to try and get some pierce damage in with the piercing arrows, it's like, nope, you can't do that. Illegal. Positioning police coming in to stop you. And then it's another kill in the books for Huiba and Dr. Gaming pushing their lead even further.
And we'll just say, if this is Tribe right now, we'll have to hold that if they find a huge...
Yo! Emo! My goodness! There is an attempt from Oldskool and the rest of Tribe to pick Huiba in his tracks, but Emo quick on the trigger with the quickness into the grand entrance to stop the Tribe.
That would have just straight up ended the game, I think, for Tribe. And right now, that last team fight that we saw around Dragon was potentially the most even this game is going to be if trends are to be believed. Tribe, they try to find something starting. I mean, look, this is why starting is, you know, a little bit of a punk. You know, he goes for things, he tries to get in your face, he tries to be disrespectful, throws out those bans. He's a young kid, and at least he's going for stuff. He's looking for some engages, maybe would have found something onto Wind, and this might just be it, right? They may find this onto YK, but he's so tanky.
And you've also got Huiba, who is there to play reinforcements here to support YK, someone who has been so graciously there from Huiba's back, but now ttigers is locking down with the Hectic ultimatum. All Tribe are trying to funnel into Huiba, they lock him down, and YK should be able to follow as well, but he's too fast, he's too tanky. He's just running out at the speed of light. KUN Gaming, surrender now, prepare to fight. Tribe, they're trying everything right now.
They're throwing literally everything and the kitchen sink and maybe a few of their other Tribe Gaming members of the community, and it's just not working. They have to overpower one member. They kill Huiba, which that shutdown gold is gonna feel a little bit nice, obviously, but it is more, you're gonna need a lot more of that to try and find something. Tiggs on the bot side trying to open up maybe a plate, isn't found by Yo. And the God King himself, Garen, is able to walk out YK. It is a simply 1 kill for Tribe. There's a Dragon spawning in the next 40 seconds, Herald under 30. These are all objectives that DKG are favored to get, astoundingly so.
And you have to give credit over to Tribe that they committed forward for the pick.
They
on
did
the
something.
Huiba.
We take those.
Yeah, that chain of corruptions unfortunately didn't hit the mark there, but it's so hilarious to me that Oldskool and Chuck are just like, we don't care if we die to YK, we gotta kill Huiba. We gotta take him off the map, and they had to walk through it. And YK feeling a little disrespected right there. It's like, you guys can't just walk through me and get away with it.
I mean, again, we've been saying it. He's the high requirement. If you can't beat this Garen, you are not killing any.
Oh god, no!
Bye, MaxGreen.
The sushi's up on the menu, boys. We got some sashimi in there for ya. Doku Gaming are taking their meal in stride, and Win picks up a triple.
That's a triple kill. That's the Rift Herald that Huiba is going to start up. They can move mid lane. They can drop this Rift Herald into that, grab another turret, open up an inhibitor. It's 15 seconds until starting spawns. Oldskool and MaxGreen in pocket change going to be spawning. But it is looking quite grim for the North American prospects coming from the Summoner Series and getting smacked down time and time again. Doku Gaming take the mid turret, they get the Dragon as well. This is just pure, utter dominance from the Chinese representative.
Doku Gaming, 12,000 gold ahead of Tribe at 10 minutes into the game. Just pushing their benchmark from game 1 where they're only 8,000 gold ahead. They've just continuously impressing us even further and further to the world, showing why this is the team to beat at Horizon Cup.
Exactly. And right now, it's starting to feel, especially for just the whole view of the group, that it may just be Doku Gaming who beat them. And, I mean, look at this engage.
Yeah, Tribe are trying to funnel into this choke point, trying to see if they can contest Dakun, look for a pick. But it's Dakun are the ones that are pulling the wool over their eyes of Tribe. They have to scatter like the wind. Only starting at ttigers are the ones that escape for now. But Dakun Gaming, 5 members strong. They have the Rift Herald.
Are they just going to use Rift Herald to end the game?
They can.
The turret is going down even without the Rift Herald.
Yeah, ttigers is trying to recall right now, but 3 seconds on the clock. This Herald is going to make a crash. Then Dakun Gaming with an absolute monstrosity of a performance, an awesome display of power. This is why Dakun Gaming are looking to be the best team at Horizon Cup.
3-0, lock in their spot in the knockout stage later on. And that might have just been the fastest game of Horizon Cup. That was almost 11 and a half minutes. I don't know the exact number. I hope the stats team can bring it up. I'm sure the analyst desk will try to go for that number if they can. But, I mean, man, Dakun Gaming
Just
really good. And it's so scary if you have to think that they could lock in a semi-final bye. That is disgusting what we're seeing from them. No team has looked as dominant as they have. And, I mean, looking forward, right? This is a team that they have their own unique style. It's something that we're seeing no other team attempt. And they are looking by and far and away as the potential favorite for this entire tournament.
Honk Battery, I've only got a few words left to say about Dakun Gaming.
Okay.
First, what I want to say is that, as we alluded to before, they are successful in completing or securing a spot into the knockout round. So
yes.
First of all, congratulations to Dakun Gaming. Their seeding still awaits pending the results of the rest of Group A, but also, sheesh! Dakun Gaming, man, this is what a team, man. I mean, this has just been at the expense of our own misery as NA fans.
I'll take a game like that.
Yeah, you know what? If we're gonna get our asses kicked, it's gotta be like that, man. You gotta do it in style like Dakun Gaming.
Yeah, Dakun Gaming looked really good. And obviously, this is our last game of the day, so it's been a fantastic set of games.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about 3 different series. If you look at the whole of Horizon Cup, the first day, the first 2 games were 2-0s. And then we got into a couple more 3-game series. Same thing happened in day 2. It's a lot of 2-0s. But now, this is probably the most contentious day here at the Horizon Cup. 3 series that go all the way. And then there's KUN Gaming, who end up just smashing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, there's all things that are consistent. There's number one, death taxes, and KUN Game smashing you.
All things certain in life here, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what's also certain? We've got 3 very lovely and very intelligent analysts that are waiting on the throw. Digon, break us down.
Thank you very much. DKG should stand for dominant kings of gaming after what they just did for the first 3 days of the Horizon Cup. They have yet to lose a single game in the whole tournament. And that last one, the fastest that we've seen all Horizon Cup.
6-0 game score, 3-0 series score. That was an 11-minute victory. By far the fastest game, not even close to anyone else. And it's the same strategy that we've seen from them in all of them as well. The scaling jungler for Huiba. I absolutely love this strategy yet again. But Digon, it wasn't even really about this strategy for this game because it didn't get to late game. The other members of KUN Gaming won out their lane off of plays like this where Wind just gets so fed on Lucian.
Definitely. And, I look back at that play in the river on the Camille ttigers flashing forward. And as much as that could have possibly have been a good engage, their rotation from the solo lanes came late. Riku.
Yeah, I really like the idea, right? Because when we look at Camille, also very strong level 5 with a Hextech ultimatum, kind of similar with the Assault and Battery, with the indication of having that late game scaling insurance. But at the same time, they didn't get to reach that, and we could see that they've been focusing a lot of their efforts to eliminate Huiba right off the bat. But, on the opposite side of the spectrum, there's still Wind on the Lucian, who had pretty much stacked up a lot of gold PvE and towers and waves, while everyone was busy getting the jump on YK and Huiba, as we can see on the replay at the moment. And yeah, DKG is just so incredibly strong.
This game just proves to me that even though they had this really stellar plan of funneling Huiba and playing around the new jungle changes in the patch, it's not just him that is the carry for this team. They have other very strong players around the entire roster. They can all carry as well. Just because the jungle strategy is the best and it's the one that they're going for, it doesn't mean they have to go for it every time. It doesn't mean they have to rely on it every time.
Right, and Wind had a huge emphasis on the Varus, so now when they took away the Varus, he showed, yeah, I play a pretty mean Lucian as well. DKG is the first team to guarantee a spot in the knockout stage, and so that must mean they are the team to beat, right, Riku?
Yeah, they're definitely the team to beat. So far, we haven't exactly seen any weaknesses, especially, again, we saw the attempt from Tribe to do that level 1 jungle invade, but so far it hasn't been very successful. And now it's still setting the stage on what teams can do to really put down this Titan.
And, if you look at the standings, NA fans, obviously it got hard against KUN Gaming. They were the strongest team, but that means they're going to need to win out against SBTC, the former favorite coming into the tournament, who's currently slumping, and have to defeat KT Rolster, and going to need some help. It's going to be a very long road here for Tribe Gaming fans.
Might need a miracle for Tribe to get into the knockout stage. But, at this point, I just want to see one of those victories for them. I want to see them win a series so they can show us what they can do with their selfie game. I know that these guys have a lot of charisma. I know that they have a lot of Twitter charisma, specifically from starting, as he's been known to tweet out some very brash things from time to time. So that's what I'm hoping for from them from here on.
Yeah, I hope that they're going to be able to pull their mental back from this one. Coming from that TSM game where they were favored to win, they get reverse swept. This one, it feels like they never really got their footing under them. When you face adversity like that, it feels very difficult. We got to see a team like Ebro, who struggled early in their first 2 games, come in pretty good here and give a great run in their third match, but wasn't quite able to get over the hump. Now, while we wait to hear from DKG's Wind, here's an interview that we weren't able to show you all earlier from the other undefeated team in Group A. Here's Rolster's Salem.
Rolster Y continuing with the strong showing here at Horizon Cup, and following that victory, I am joined by the support, Salem. This series did start off with some difficulty against TSM, though. What did you win from game number 1 to pull off the victories in games 2 and 3?
이번에 시리즈 시작이 사실 별로 안 좋았는데 게임 1에서 어떤 피드백이 있었기에 게임 2에서 컴백을 할 수 있었는지 궁금합니다.
첫 경기를 지고 나서 상대가 잘했다기보다 저희가 못했다고 판단을 하고 그래서 실수를 좀 줄여나가자, 더 집중하자 그런 식으로 피드백을 했던 것 같아요.
After the loss in the first game, we thought that it's not the opponent that was good, it was us that made a lot of mistakes. So we told ourselves that we should improve on those mistakes in the next game.
Well, in that next game and the one after that, it looked very clean with very definitive decision making, Baron calls. Who on your team is making those decisions and kind of leading the team when it comes to communication?
그럼 이어졌던 두 번째 세트랑 세 번째 세트에서는 굉장히 자신감 있는 결정들을 보여주셨는데 예를 들면은 바론 콜이라든지 그런 결정들은 팀에서 보통 누가 내리시나요?
일단 전체적으로는 이제 정글러인 도진호 선수가 많이 하는 편입니다.
Overall, I'd say it's our jungler, Do, that makes a lot of the shot calls.
And he had to respond a lot during those games to a lot of the early plays made by TSM, focusing on the laners. What was your reaction to them focusing on Rattel in the top lane and then also diving in the mid lane during game 2?
도 선수 얘기하셨는데 사실 TSM이 하는 플레이에 대해서 굉장히 맞받아치면서 라인 케어하는 모습도 많이 보여주셨는데 TSM이 뭐 탑 라인에서 라텔 선수를 포커싱하는 그런 전략들에 대해서 어떻게 느꼈나요?
저희도 전략적으로 뱀픽적으로 탑 게임이 아니라 바텀으로도 갈 수 있는 부분이고 상대가 라텔 선수를 말렸다 해도 저희는 뭐 다 잘하기 때문에 루나 선수도 충분히 잘하기 때문에 이길 거라 생각하고 있었어요.
So strategically, we also had the option to play around our bot lane instead of the top lane. So we didn't care too much. And above all four of our players are good, especially our AD carry Luna. So we thought that we could play around bot lane.
Yeah, you all set up Luna very well to succeed in that game, and he popped off as well. Now, you as a team very much dominated your region. Now that you've gotten to play against a couple teams internationally, how do you believe they stack up against the regional play?
사실 한국 지역에서는 굉장히 압도적인 모습을 보여줬는데 지금 호라이즌컵 와서 다른 팀들, 지역 팀들과 경기를 해보고 나서 한국 지역이 비교적 어떻다고 느끼시나요?
한국은 아직 대회가 크게 많이 생기진 않았고 이제 점점 시작하는 단계고 그래서 아직은 다 같이 성장 중이라고 생각해요. 한국은. 그래서 다른 해외들보다 격차는 조금 있다고 생각은 하는데 곧 충분히 바로 따라잡을 수 있을 것 같아요.
So WRE Esports is only just starting in the KR region, so obviously there's that gap between KR and other regions, but I believe that we could catch up pretty quickly.
And you're facing off against a team that will prove if you're still catching up or dominating yourselves. DKG up next. They do have another game before they face you. What do you make of them as performance so far and then facing against them next?
다음 경기는 DKG 전인데 DKG에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
제가 생각하기에는 가장 강한 팀이라고 생각을 해요. 그래도 오늘 TSM이랑 경기에서 저희는 정말 많은 것을 얻었다고 생각하기 때문에 오늘을 계기로 내일 더 진짜 이기는 모습 꼭 보여드릴 수 있을 것 같아요.
I do think DKG is the strongest opponent in this tournament, but we learned a lot from our series against TSM today, and we'll apply those learnings and show everyone great performance against DKG tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so excited for that matchup. Thank you so much for joining me after your victory today. All right, more Horizon Cup to come, everybody. Stay tuned.
Thank you very much, Gabby. And again, just pretty interesting to hear the contrasting ways they look at the game in the winners' interviews when we talk about Salem there and the earlier interview we had with Team Secret's Azar, right? It was like, hey, our team did this, we made these changes, we were beating ourselves. The one earlier with Azar was like, yeah, you know, Team Queso, a little disappointing here, Smack.
Yeah, significantly less trash talk in this interview. Very humble in the next oncoming match for Roaster as well, which, as Salem alluded to, is against KUN Gaming. That's happening tomorrow. We just saw KUN Gaming really just demolish Team Tribe, so I think that's going to be a really, really good one. Specifically, I like that he highlighted the bot laner here for Luna. Luna versus Wind is happening tomorrow.
Riku, what do you make of that matchup?
I think that's going to be very spicy because both of the both of the dragon laners rather, have been very incredibly consistent no matter what AD carry they have been picking. And I'm so excited to see how the supports are going to set them up. And I really like the interview as well, how Salem brought up that, okay, you're going to keep diving our top laner, Rattel. We're going to play around Luna. And it's so nice to see ROI has a lot of these options in case, a lot of these opponents deal or rather focus on a certain lane to shut them down.
Well, wrapping up this last series that we just had, all the Tribe players are tweeting close games. Here's the team they had the quote close games with. Let's send it back on over to Gabby with DKG Wind.
KUN Gaming smashing through the group stage, and after taking down Tribe, I am now joined by the bot laner Wind. This does mean that you've secured a spot in the knockout stage. What does it mean to you to do so in such a dominating fashion?
其实对你们来说，现在已经是成功出现进入到淘汰赛了。对你来讲，这意味着什么呢？
主要是我们打比赛，我们5个人就一直都想赢吧，就是打比赛尽量不会输一把。还是想着拿冠军吧。
Yeah, because all of the 5 players from our team are very desired to the championship, so we all try our best to out.
And you're taking those steps towards that championship, doing so with a strong performance from you individually on the Varus, when that's banned away, on the Lucian as well. How do you feel about your individual performance thus far?
今天你的卢锡安个人表现非常好，你觉得你到目前为止的个人表现怎么样呢？
我觉得好吧，反正队友都挺厉害的。我玩维鲁斯在后面混一下就赢了吧。
Actually, I think it's not a very perfect performance on myself. It's all for the teamwork. I don't think I did a good job on the Varus for the game 1.
I think others would disagree. It was a lot of fun to watch your play, and despite a lot of strong game finishes from you all, you're continuing to innovate in the draft, even bringing out the Rengar in game 1. How important is it to DKG to experiment with these drafts and the comps that you bring to the table?
事实上，对于你们来讲呢，你们整个阵容还是选择很有趣，尤其是在第一把的时候，你们选择了狮子狗这个阵容。那其实当时为什么会选择有狮子狗这样的一个阵容呢？
因为他想玩吧，主要是他的英雄池太深了，对面搬应该搬不完的，我觉得。
Because our jungler like Huiba that he has a pretty strong for the champion pool, so I think he can beat any jungle champion for this matchup.
Oh yeah, every jungle champion that he's brought through has been strong. Now you as a team, you do still have another match to go. You're facing off against Rolster Y, which is for seeding, and still to have that dominant feeling going through. What do you make of their performance thus far, also being undefeated?
你们其实在之后还有一场对阵 RY 的比赛，你觉得你们会有什么样的优势去打败 RY 呢？
我觉得我们5个人的个人实力都比他们厉害吧。其实我看了他们也就一般吧，我觉得。
I think that our individually can play well. Each of our member for our players, 5 players could be get individually, like the personality or our personal skills are better than the 5 of the RY, so we can beat them easily.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun for us to watch. Thank you for the interview, and congratulations again on making it to the knockout stage.
谢谢你的采访。
谢谢，拜拜。
Thank you.
Back to Digon and the LA crew.
Thank you, Gabby. And great interview formed there by Wind. A microphone all the way to the mouth. You don't always see that from players, so you always want to give the props there. Because it didn't seem like he wanted to give himself props on the Varus, Riku. What is going on here?
I know, it was crazy how he played the Varus, right? He even got a triple kill on the Rift Herald fight. His positioning was just so stellar. And I guess it's one of those things like, we can still do better. We're going to hold ourselves to the higher standard. And I think it's just super crazy at the end too that, Win is able to say like, hey, we're way stronger than RY. They're very, very confident. And I totally understand.
If his Varus isn't great, my Varus needs to be reported instantly because he played that game really well. He was setting up so many picks. He got that triple kill around the Drake fight as well. I don't know what he's talking about, man. Win played that series phenomenally. What is he talking about?
Well, then all that means is I'm very excited for tomorrow's action, which we will return with more Wild Rift action as the race for the knockout stage draws closer to its end. Now, Tribe Gaming kick off the day against SBTC in a match 1 that is important to both teams. Then Thunder Talk and Team Queso face off in match number 2, all before a couple of banger matchups: Rolster Y versus KUN Gaming, then Sengoku Gaming versus Team Secret. These are going to be big. Quick, which one's your favorite one, Max?
Oh man, I think the Roaster Wide Docking Gaming has to be the one that I'm going to watch most of all. It's got to be my favorite one. These teams are undefeated, and I just can't wait to see who remains undefeated.
Riku?
Oh, for me, it's going to be the last match. It's Sengoku Gaming versus Team Secret. I know that's going to be an explosive matchup.
Yeah, I guess I got my eyes on the first one. Tribe, this is it. It's time to get that win, y'all. Will they be able to do it? We'll find out tomorrow. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for watching. On behalf of myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow for more Horizon Cup action.
Walk